Okay, so Year 9, Week 1, and we're doing measurement and shape. So let's have a look. What's the area and perimeter of the following square? Well, the area of the square is length squared. We substitute in the 7. And 7 squared, 7 times 7 is 49 squared centimetres. The perimeter of the square is 4L, because all sides are the same. So that's going to be 4 multiplied by 7. So that's going to be 28 centimetres. Centimetres because it's a length, squared centimetres because it's an area, A and P for area perimeter. Area and perimeter following rectangle. So the area of a rectangle is base times height. In this case will be 11 times 3. So the area is 33 squared centimetres. The perimeter of a rectangle, there are a few different formulas. You could do 2 length plus 2 width, which is a pretty easy one to do, or 2 lots of the length plus width, which is the quickest, because it's 2 lots, that plus that times by 2. So it's going to be 11 plus 3, which is 14. 14 times by 2, so it's 28 centimetres is the perimeter. Question 3. Find the area and perimeter of the following triangle. So the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, and base and height must be at right angles to each other. So this means it's 8 times 6 divided by 2, which is 24 squared centimetres, and of course use your calculator. Now the perimeter of this triangle, that doesn't really have a formula, it's just that plus that plus that, so it's going to be 6 plus 8 plus 10, so the perimeter is also 24 centimetres, and you can see where the marks come from, it's 1 mark per line. Question 4. Find the area and perimeter of the following parallelogram. Well, the area of a parallelogram is base times height. Again, base and height must be at right angles, so that's 12 times 8, which is 96 squared centimetres. The perimeter is twice the length plus width because it's the outside, and now you can understand why we usually use base and height for area and length and width for perimeter. So when we substitute, there'd be 2 lots of 12 plus 9, because that's the length and width. 12 plus 9 is 21, times by 2 is 42 centimetres. Question 5. Find the area of the following trapezium. Now the area of trapezium is A plus B, which is the parallel sides, multiplied by the height, and then divided by 2. So basically you add this and this together to make it over here, times by the height, and then because that would be a big rectangle, you need to half it. So our parallel sides are 8 and 5. The height between them is 4, and then you divide it by 2. You put that into a calculator and you get 26 squared centimetres. So you put that into a calculator and that's what you get, 3 marks each. Question 9. Find the area and circumference of the following circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. That's going to be pi multiplied by the radius, which is 6 squared. Now if you wanted the exact answer, you would do 6 times 6 is 36. The exact area is 36 pi. But because this wants it to 2 decimal places, we do our 36 multiplied by pi, and you get your 113.10 to 2 decimal places. Our circumference of the circle is pi d, or 2 pi r. So that's going to be pi times 12, because the diameter would be 12. Again, the exact answer is 12 pi, but to 2 decimal places, it would be 37.70 centimetres. You don't need to put the 0 on the end, but I like to do that when it says 2 decimal places. Question 7. Find the area of the following shape. This is called a compound shape, which means you need to split it up into different shapes. So I'm going to cut it down here. Now this rectangle is going to be 4, and 5 plus 6 is 11, 4 by 11. This rectangle is 6, and 11 take away 4 is 7. So make sure you've got the right measurements on it. So the area is going to be a rectangle plus a rectangle. Now because I've already used, I want to make sure that these are different, so I'm just going to use a little 1 underneath it. So my first rectangle is 11 by 4, 11 times 4. My second rectangle is 7 times 6, and you can actually put that into your calculator in one go, like we did last unit. I'll show you what I mean. So it's 11 times 4 plus 7 times 6, and it'll give us our answer as 86 squared centimetres. Last question. Find the area and perimeter of the following shape. Okay, it's always good to identify what you're working with. So the total area is going to be the area of this plus this. So that's a rectangle plus half a circle. Well, we know the area of a circle is pi r squared, so we just divide it by 2. Dimensions of our rectangle are 14 and 5. And we need to know the radius of the circle, which is this. Well, if that's 14, it must be 7. And we put that into our calculator. So 14 times by the 5, and we're adding, we're doing brackets, pi times the 49, which is 7 squared, which is then divided by 2, and we get 146.97 squared centimetres. Now perimeter, which is quite a difficult question, you need to look how many sides the shape's got. So our perimeter is going to be the width of the rectangle, and there's 2 of them, width 1, width 2, the length of the rectangle, and it's half the circumference of the circle. Well, if the circumference of the circle is pi d, we divide that by 2. So you just look at what I've done there, 2 widths plus the length plus half the circumference of a circle. I now substitute. That's 2 times 5, the width, plus 14, plus pi times the diameter, which is 14, divided by 2, and I'll go over here, type into the calculator, well that's 10 plus 14, and that's 14 divided by 2 is 7, so 7 times pi, and answer to 2 decimal places again, so the perimeter must be 45.99 centimetres, and these are the sort of questions that are going to be very common this week and for this term.